Rahim. I'm Irfan Hussain and I'm here with another video regarding our program of TEFL and TESOL. Our today's topic is Second Language Acquisition Theories. This is the first part of our 3 videos series about the second language acquisition. What is second language acquisition theory? We already have understood the difference between acquisition and learning, and if you have question about the difference between acquisition and learning, you may ask me. I'm not going to explain it right now. So this second language acquisition theory is actually placed parallel to the first language acquisition theory, and it is tried to understand, try to comprehend whether there is any difference between the acquisition of the first language and of the second language. First language is definitely a natural acquisition when a child grows and he takes input from the society and he develops a language, skills in a language. But second language acquisition occurs when we are not children, we are adult. So it is to be seen whether there is any difference between this first language acquisition and second language acquisition. There are lots of interpretations, and these interpretations are the theories. And what is the purpose of these theories? To see the language acquisition process, identification of variables, which variables are functional in the acquisition of the language, and then guidelines to the teachers how they can teach second language. This is the purpose of second language acquisition theories. Every theory gives its own acquisition process, that is interpretation. These processes are not visible, so these are interpretations or ideas, ideologies. And then what are the variables that are important, and every language theory gives its own variables. And then according to their acquisition process, according to their variables, they create a guideline for the teachers how they can teach second language to their pupils. We will study 3 theories. There are others as well, but we will focus on these 3 theories. These are behaviorism, mentalism, and the third one, the modern one, is questions monitor model. Today we will discuss about behaviorism, that was presented by B.F. Skinner. B.F. Skinner is the founder of the behaviorism. What is behaviorism? It was actually inspired by a Russian psychologist, that was Ivan Pavlov. He worked on classical conditioning. Classical conditioning is not our topic of today. That needs detail if we want to discuss. And B.F. Skinner was inspired of him and was inspired of his work. He got a concept from him that was a concept of Tabula Rasa. It means a plain slate where there is nothing written. And these psychologists, psychiatrists, are of the view that a child's brain is like a plain slate, and we can write it whatever we want to write. B.F. Skinner claims, give me a child and I can mold the child according to my wish, and I can mold it in any way. So that was the concept tabula rasa. B.F. Skinner presented a process, as we discussed, that the process is important in the theory. That process is operant conditioning. What is that? Operant conditioning. Skinner used the term operant to refer to any active behavior that operates upon the environment to generate consequences. So he talks about the external facts, and the external stimulus that acts upon the behavior of the learner. It may be a child and it may be an adult. What operant conditioning claims that there is no need to see internal thought. We should look only at the external observable causes of human behavior. So they do not give importance to the internal thoughts. They always give to the importance to the society, to external environment. Whatever the external environment, what kind of language is used in your external culture, the same kind of language is acquired by a child. And what kind of language is used, spoken in your environment, you will definitely absorb that kind of language in yourself. That is the operant conditioning. And there is another important reference that is of Edward Thorndike, who was a psychologist, and he presented law effect. What he says, actions that are followed by desirable outcomes are more likely to be repeated, while those followed by undesirable outcomes are less likely to be repeated. What he says, that if I do some kind of reaction and if I do some kind of action and I do not get the desirable result, definitely my action will be less repeated. But if I get output, my desired output, definitely I will be encouraged to do to repeat that action again and again. For example, we are studying nowadays online, and I am putting these videos on YouTube, and if you give me this response, if you study, if you do the home task, that will be a response that is my desired outcome, and I will be encouraged more. And definitely the other way is discouraging. So that is a simple formula of reward and punishment. If someone does something and he is rewarded, the action will increase, the loop will increase, the action will be repeated, and that will become the part of the personality. That action may be language, that action may be anything, but because we are concerned language, so we are giving reference to the language. And the other thing is punishment. And if someone is punished for something, for example, if student comes late in the classroom and teacher does punish him in some way or other, definitely his action should be decreased. Action should not be repeated. At least this is an expectation. Or anything, if a child speaks a wrong word and you snub the child, or you just tell, no, it is not a good word, this is a bad word, the use of that word comes down in repetition. That is associative law, you can say. That action is associated with its outcome. If this outcome is positive, action will be repeated. If its outcome is negative, action will not be repeated. In psychology, this concept is known as reinforcement. Reinforcement is of two types, that is positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement. If some students ask me a question in the classroom and I encourage him for asking questions, and I do answer the student will get courage and will ask me again. That action will be repeated. My answer, my response, if it is positive, it is positive reinforcement. And if in answer to his question I snubs the child or the student, he will be discouraged. He will be discouraged and he will not repeat that question, and he will not repeat that habit. That is negative reinforcement. This positive and negative reinforcement is always around us in every matter of life, and this is in language as well. When a child says mum, you give water to the child, but when he grows up you force him to say pani or water, and when he says water or pani, then you give water to him, and he learns that no, I will not be given water on mum, I will be given water on saying water. So this is a positive and a negative reinforcement cycle. And when an action is met with positive reinforcement, loops continues. Action is repeated and becomes a part of personality, and when the action meets negative reinforcement, group stops there, disconnected there. An action is not repeated. This is how language is acquired according to behaviorism. So with the help of operant conditioning, very simple, and again I say that keep it simple, and these are the basics that you need to understand. There may be a lot of other parameters we can discuss some other time, but this is the basics and you need to understand it. I hope that you have understood it, and if you have any question, you can ask me, and before that I will give you some home tasks, few examples, only 5 examples of positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement, only 5 examples for each, and I hope that you will do that work, and you can share it with me on my phone number, on my WhatsApp number, on my email, on comment, whatever you want in your group. I will wait for your response. So if you have any question, you may ask me freely. I will always be there to answer you. Till the next video, thank you very much. Stay blessed, stay home. God bless you.